Donald Trump is back in office, and his immigration rules are tougher than ever. Thousands of immigrants in the United States are now facing deportation, causing shock, fear, and outrage across the country. But which countries are being hit the hardest? In this video, we reveal the 20 nations where deportations are happening at a shocking rate. Is your country on the list? Stay tuned to find out. Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. Do you think the United States is making the right decision, or is this unfair? Let's find out now. Number 20, Nigeria. Nigerians have been one of the largest African immigrant groups in the United States for years, but now many are being forced to leave. Why? Expired visas and legal issues are causing a wave of deportations, sending people back to Nigeria, even those who have lived in the United States for decades. Families are being ripped apart, parents separated from their children, and lives turned upside down. The question is this fair, or is it too harsh? Number 19, Mexico. Mexicans are being deported in huge numbers. Even with diplomatic talks, many are still being forced out of the United States, especially those caught at the border. Stricter immigration rules mean more people are being sent back every day. Migrant shelters in Mexico are overflowing, packed with families who lost everything. Some have lived in the United States for years, while others were just trying to cross for a better life. Now, they face an uncertain and difficult future. Number 18, Ghana. Under Trump's administration, Ghana has been targeted for not accepting deported citizens, leading to a surge in forced removals. This has left many Ghanaian Americans terrified for their families back home. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, is enforcing harsh new policies, causing tension and fear as people worry about their loved ones being sent back. Ghana's refusal to accept deportees has made the situation even more intense, making families feel even more vulnerable. Number 17, Guatemala. Guatemala, a major country for Central American migration, is facing a deportation crisis. Thousands of Guatemalans are being sent back as the U.S. tightens rules on asylum seekers. Families are being ripped apart, and those deported are struggling to rebuild their lives in a country where jobs are scarce and safety is a big concern. This sudden wave of deportations has sparked humanitarian worries. How will these people survive after being forced to return? Number 16, El Salvador. Deportations of Salvadorans are rising fast as the U.S. ends temporary protected status, or TPS. For decades, Salvadorans have worked hard and helped build the U.S. economy, but now many are being forced to leave and return to a country still struggling with gang violence and poverty. Families are being torn apart, and people who have lived in the U.S. for years now face an uncertain and dangerous future. Is this fair, or is it too harsh? Number 15, Venezuela. Venezuelans are facing a shocking crisis. Many fled their country to escape political chaos and danger, hoping for a better life in the United States. But now, under Trump's tough immigration rules, their future is unclear. With temporary protected status under review, thousands don't know if they can stay or if they will be forced to return to a country still struggling with economic collapse and political instability. Families live in fear and uncertainty, wondering what will happen next. Number 14, Honduras. Honduras is facing a growing deportation crisis. With the United States tightening asylum rules, more and more Hondurans are being sent back. But returning home is not easy. The economy is weak, jobs are scarce, and crime is a big problem. Many deported families feel lost and hopeless, unsure of how to start over. Honduras was already struggling, and now, with thousands coming back, life is even harder. Number 13, China. Even Chinese nationals are now facing deportation. Many who came to the United States on student or work visas are being forced to leave after overstaying. These are skilled workers and bright students who hope to build a future, but now they are being sent back. Advocacy groups are outraged, saying this crackdown could hurt industries that rely on their talent. With tougher immigration rules, many Chinese nationals now face an uncertain and frightening future. Number 12, Haiti. Haitians who came to the U.S. after the 2010 earthquake now face a heartbreaking reality. With temporary protected status ending, Many families who spent years rebuilding their lives in America now live in fear of deportation. They worked hard, built homes, and raised children, but now everything could be taken away. Returning to Haiti is not easy. The country is still struggling with poverty, violence, and instability. What will happen to these families if they are forced to leave? Number 11, India. Indian immigrants are now being deported in large numbers. Many of them came to the US on H-1 visas, working in big tech companies and helping to build the future. But now, those with expired visas are being forced to leave. The tech industry is worried. These skilled workers have played a huge role in innovation. With strict immigration rules, many Indian families face sudden removals, leaving behind jobs, dreams, and years of hard work. Number 10, Pakistan. Pakistanis are now being sent back in large numbers. Many had come to the US on visas or seeking asylum, hoping for a better life. But with stricter immigration rules, those with expired visas or pending asylum cases are now being forced to leave. This has raised tensions between the US and Pakistan. For many deported individuals, returning home is terrifying. Some fear religious persecution and an uncertain future in a country they once tried to escape. Number 9, Brazil. Brazilian families are being sent back in growing numbers. Many came to the United States searching for better jobs and a brighter future. But now, due to visa problems, they are being forced to leave. In states like Florida and Texas, entire communities are feeling the impact as more and more Brazilians face deportation. This sudden wave of removals is causing economic struggles and emotional distress, leaving families heartbroken and uncertain about what comes next. Number 8, Philippines. Filipino workers are being sent home in big numbers. Many came to the United States to work hard and build better lives, especially in healthcare and service jobs. But now, with stricter immigration rules, those with expired work visas are facing deportation. Even after years of helping hospitals, restaurants, and businesses, they are being forced to leave. This has left many fearful and uncertain, wondering what their future holds as they prepare to return to the Philippines. Number 7, Somalia. Somalis who came to the United States for safety are now being sent back. Many escaped war, violence, and poverty, hoping for a better life in America. But with stricter immigration rules, those without proper documents are facing deportation. Now, they must return to a dangerous country with few jobs, food shortages, and ongoing conflict. Many are terrified about what awaits them as they struggle to survive in a place they once fled. The fear and uncertainty are heartbreaking. Number 6, Cuba. Cuban nationals are now being sent back in huge numbers. Even with political tensions between the US and Cuba, deportations have increased under Trump's strict policies. This is a big change in US-Cuba relations, especially for those who came seeking asylum and a better future. Many Cubans who thought they were safe now face the fear of being forced back to a country where life is still difficult and uncertain. Families are worried, struggling, and unsure of what happens next. Number 5, Dominican Republic. Dominicans are now being sent back in large numbers. As one of the biggest Caribbean migrant groups in the US, many are now at risk of losing everything. Deportations are hitting hard, especially in New York and Florida, where Dominican communities have thrived for years. Families are being torn apart, businesses are struggling, and the local economy is feeling the impact. Many who have worked hard to build a life in America now face an uncertain and difficult future. Number 4, Colombia. Colombians in the US are now in serious trouble. Immigration rates have skyrocketed, putting many at risk of being sent back. Families are scared, unsure if they'll be next. The number of deportations is rising fast, and this has sparked outrage and protests from immigrant rights groups. Many Colombians have built a life in the US, but now they face uncertainty and fear. Their future in America is on shaky ground as strict immigration policies take hold. Number 3, Ecuador. Ecuadorian migrants are facing a tough reality. Many who came to the US to escape poverty and hardship are now being sent back in large numbers. Families are devastated as the people who worked hard to support them are suddenly gone. With their earners deported, loved ones left behind are struggling to survive. The financial impact is huge, leaving many uncertain about their future. Number 2, Nicaragua. More Nicaraguans are being sent back and the situation is getting worse. With the U.S. making asylum rules stricter, many who escaped government oppression are now being forced to return. These people came looking for safety and a better life, but now they face an uncertain and dangerous future. Their deportations have sparked outrage and criticism from human rights groups. Will they be safe? Many fear what awaits them back home. Number 1. Peru. Peruvians are being deported at an alarming rate. Under Trump's strict immigration rules, more and more Peruvian immigrants are being forced to leave the U.S. Many have lived in America for years, building families, working hard and chasing the American dream. But now, without legal status, they are being sent back quickly with little warning. The U.S. immigration system is changing